When life gets hard, you don't reach out, you disappear. You're going through a tough stretch, intense remote work, Zoom burnout, financial pressure from the gig economy, or the quiet loneliness of post-pandemic friendship fade-outs. But instead of texting a friend, "Hey, I'm really struggling right now," you go silent. You read their "How are you?" messages, leave them on read, and slowly withdraw. You cancel plans at the last minute. You stop replying to group chats. You vanish. You're not angry at anyone. You just don't want to be a burden. If this sounds familiar, this video is for you. Today we're exploring the psychology of people who disappear when life gets hard, not because they're cold or selfish, but because they carry a deep fear of burdening others. This isn't a personality flaw. It's called fear of burdening others, a powerful survival mechanism rooted in dismissive avoidant attachment. Psychology and attachment theory show that when children experience emotional neglect or inconsistent caregiving, their nervous system learns that expressing needs or vulnerability often leads to rejection, disappointment, or being ignored. Recent 2024-2025 research, Youth Journal, and multiple trauma studies confirms that up to 78% of people showing extreme hyperindependence have a history of childhood adversity. In today's American culture marked by remote work, Zoom burnout, dating app, fatigue, social media comparison, performative friendships, and the ongoing friendship recession documented by the U.S. Surgeon General, this pattern has become incredibly common. Millions of Americans are quietly withdrawing when life gets difficult because their brain still believes, if I need help, I'll lose the people I care about. In this video, we'll break down the 6 real psychological reasons this happens. Most importantly, 4 practical, research-backed ways to start opening up safely without feeling guilty. 6 psychological reasons. Reason 1. You learned early that your needs burden others. Many of us grew up in homes where parents were overwhelmed with work, stress, or their own unresolved pain. You quickly learned to handle difficulties alone, so you wouldn't add to their load. That childhood lesson became your adult default. Reason 2. Deep-rooted fear of rejection and abandonment. On us. Attachment theory explains it clearly. Dismissive avoidant individuals learn that depending on others leads to disappointment. Recent studies, 2025, link this directly to fear of being a burden. Your brain equates vulnerability with the risk of being left behind. Reason 3. Your self-worth is tied to extreme self-reliance. American culture celebrates the self-made myth. In a world of hustle culture and social media highlight reels, asking for help feels like admitting failure. You take pride in "I don't need anyone" because that's how you've always proven your value. Reason 4. You've become the helper in every relationship. You're the reliable one, the listener, the supporter, the person who carries emotional labor for friends and colleagues. When it's your turn to struggle, you stay silent because you don't want to reverse roles. Reason 5. Past experiences of being let down or ghosted. You once tried opening up and were met with silence, judgment, or people slowly fading away. Your brain logged the lesson. Better to disappear first than risk being left. Reason 6. Social media and modern life make vulnerability feel risky. You scroll through perfect lives on Instagram and LinkedIn. Everyone seems to be thriving. Your own struggles feel insignificant by comparison. So you keep them private rather than ruin the vibe in performative friendships. You don't have to become completely open overnight. You only need to learn how to share safely and gradually. Here are 4 practical, research-backed principles. Principle 1. Start with micro-sharing in safe relationships. Begin small and low risk. Try saying to a trusted friend, "I'm dealing with some heavy remote work burnout right now. Would you be open to a quick chat?" Research on self-compassion shows that starting tiny dramatically reduces the fear response. Principle 2. Reframe with self-compassion. Kristen Neff's research. When the urge to disappear hits, pause and say to yourself, "My needs are not a burden. I am human, and humans are allowed to need support." Dr. Kristen Neff's decades of self-compassion research proves this simple practice lowers guilt and increases willingness to reach out. Principle 3. Choose and build reciprocal connections. Focus on relationships where help flows both ways. In a culture of one-way performative friendships, intentionally invest in people who also share their struggles. Healthy connection is mutual, not one person always carrying the load. Principle 4. Prepare simple sharing scripts and practice. Have ready phrases like, "Life has been really heavy lately, and I could use someone to listen," or "I'm struggling and don't want to handle this completely alone." Practice them out loud until they feel natural. This reduces the freeze response when the moment comes. You don't have to be strong alone anymore. Disappearing when life gets hard isn't selfishness. It's a protective strategy that once kept you safe. But you now deserve relationships where you can be fully human, struggling, needing support, and still loved. Tell me in the comments right now, what's one difficulty you've been facing that you've been hiding or disappearing from? Or what small step will you try this week to let someone in? If this video made you feel seen and gave you permission to stop carrying everything alone, please hit like, share it with someone who also tends to vanish when life gets hard, and subscribe for more real psychology that actually helps you navigate modern American life. You don't have to be strong every single moment. You just have to be human, and humans are allowed to need each other. I'm Lee. Thanks for watching until the end. I'll see you in the next one.